You are not going to believe this, or you are, and maybe that's really the problem, that it's very believable. Yesterday, Joe Biden's administration made a major announcement on vaccination. This is not the surprising part. I'll get you to the surprising part in a moment. The administration of Joe Biden has been delivering hugely when it comes to coronavirus vaccines. Joe Biden initially said the goal is 100 million doses in 100 days. Now, at the time, I said we're sort of like already on track for 89 million. So it's not super ambitious, but then he doubled that goal to 200 million doses in 100 days. Joe Biden then moved up the full eligibility date to May 1st. And yesterday, Joe Biden moved it up even further, announcing that as of now, on April 19th, there will be full adult eligibility for coronavirus vaccines in all 50 states, regardless of age, regardless of occupation, regardless of health status. And that is a really big deal. We are now giving doses to roughly 1% of the entire U.S. population every single day, about 3 million doses per day. Huge announcement, incredible success with the accelerating vaccination program under this administration. And when Joe Biden finishes telling the United States about this great news, Peter Doocy from Fox News, when Joe Biden finishes up, gets up and yells at Joe Biden, should the Masters golf tournament be moved out of Georgia? What? Yeah, that's what Peter Doocy urgently yelled at Joe Biden after a momentous announcement with regard to vaccines. And Joe Biden handles it well. We're going to look at it. And Joe Biden's approach has been the right one to this boycott stuff from the beginning. Joe Biden says companies should do what they want to do. I support businesses deciding what's best for them. It's almost like a conservative position, but the voter suppression has to stop. Check out the exchange. And remember, Biden's event was about vaccines. Biden wasn't scheduled to take questions. Biden is under no obligation to answer stupid questions yelled at him by Peter Doocy. But he does anyway, despite the right narrative, the right wing narrative being that Joe Biden won't answer any questions from reporters. Take a look at this.
The Masters golf tournament should be moved out of Georgia.
I think that's up to the Masters. Look, it is reassuring to see that for-profit operations and businesses are speaking up about how these new Jim Crow laws are just antithetical to who we are. There's another side to it, too. The other side to it, too, is when they, in fact, move out of Georgia, the people who need the help the most, people who are making hourly wages, sometimes get hurt the most. I think it's a very tough decision for a corporation to make or a group to make. But I respect them when they make that judgment, and I support whatever judgment they make. But it's the best way to deal with this is for Georgia and other states to smarten up. Stop it. Stop it. It's about giving people two votes.
You know, in a sense, conservatives should love that answer. These are for-profit businesses making, the apple of the Republican eye is the for-profit business. And it's a for-profit business making the decision they want to make and then dealing with whatever consequences come of it, period. Another thing Joe Biden does well there is once he gets out of the way the reminder that these are private businesses deciding things for themselves, he gets back to the core issue. And I think that this is something that we should always be doing when this issue comes up, which is the core issue is Republicans didn't get enough votes in 2020. Or what I mean by that is they didn't suppress enough votes in 2020. In particular, this happened in Georgia. Joe Biden took Georgia, first Democratic presidential candidate in a long time to win Georgia. 2 Democratic challengers unseated 2 Republican incumbent senators in Georgia. And so Republicans are now trying to suppress the vote even more. We have more than 250 voter suppression bills across the country. That's also happening in Georgia. And Joe Biden puts the focus on that. That's exactly what he should be doing. One bonus clip. Here, Joe Biden, after this same event, is asked if he's spoken or met with Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell, Jerome Powell, he goes by Jay. And Joe Biden says no. And he explains, the Fed is supposed to be independent, like understanding the genesis of these organizations. Biden doesn't want to get too involved with the Fed and certainly isn't going to be telling them what to do the way that Donald Trump did. Take a listen to this.
Last question.
Mr. President, have you spoken to the Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell yet?
I have not.
Can you say why? Do you plan to speak to him soon, sir?
I am not. Look, I think the Federal Reserve is an independent operation. And starting off my presidency, I want to be real clear that I'm not going to do the kinds of things that have been done in the last administration, either talking to the Attorney General about who he's going to prosecute or not prosecute and under what circumstances, or the Fed telling them what they should and shouldn't do, even though that wouldn't be the basis upon which I'd be talking to them. So I've been very fastidious about not talking to them, but I do talk to the Secretary of Treasury. Thank you all very much.
Mr. President, you mentioned 550.
I was pleasantly surprised. But I've had my criticisms of Joe Biden so far. I've had my praise. Biden wasn't even scheduled to take questions. He wasn't expected to take questions. He did. And he made some principles very clear in ways that I don't think reporters particularly liked because it gave them nothing. And Joe Biden, he almost seems to enjoy toying with Peter Doocy, who, by the way, I mean, if back when you had reporters yelling questions at Trump like that, you had Fox and others saying it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to yell out questions like that to the president. They seem thrilled, the right does, with Peter Doocy's questions and Joe Biden handling them very well. I want to do one more Peter Doocy segment next because it actually relates to a really important discussion about Georgia, Colorado, the All-Star game, and more. One of our sponsors is Privacy.com. They're giving you $5 when you sign up for their completely free service at Privacy.com/Pakman. I've been using Privacy for a little over a year now. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a lifesaver, and here's how it works. Takes just a couple of minutes to set up. Anytime you buy something online or on the phone, instead of actually using your real credit card number, the Privacy app and the browser plugin let you give each company a randomized virtual credit card number that you create out of thin air. It'll even autofill the card number with one click. And the payment is taken out of your checking account without the merchant ever knowing your real information. So this allows you to keep your banking information secure, but also to take control of your finances. You can create up to 12 of these virtual credit cards a month. You can set spending limits. You can freeze them. You can delete them anytime you want. So when you do this, it means you're not going to be charged when you don't want to be because you can destroy the virtual card number right after using it, which, for instance, I love using free trials because I know I won't be charged when the trial is over if I use a virtual credit card number. You're keeping your identity private by not telling companies who you are. You're keeping your bank or credit card info protected against data breaches and identity theft. And it's free. And like I said, you'll get $5 to spend when you sign up at Privacy.com/Pakman.